if we had the option, we were going in via helo-borne versus ground assault force, just because we can get a lot closer undetected than we can with
Mm-hmm.
trucks. Um, but the first one I was out on is we were still transitioning. Like only half our team was there. We were still doing turnover. We went out half of the previous team, half of our team, and uh, we're out there, man. It was a shit show. This was the Shindan Valley. I was out in the western part of the country, and it was Zuriko Valley. That's what it's called. And big beautiful river goes through. Like you look at it from an aircraft, it actually looks kind of pretty. It was actually
Mm-hmm.
green. Um, but we're out, and we were out there on the second day of a 48-hour op, and it was just fight after fight. Guys would get into it. Right off the bat, I ran some 64s that calmed things down on three dudes, and we get over there. We finally get all the trucks to the other side because as a JTAC, and most of the guys that I talk to, when you're JTAC with MARSOC, there's three different elements. You have uh, first element, second element, and then you have the headquarters element. Team leader, radio guy, me, um, depending, and then maybe an intel guy, depending where he falls, unless they need him out with another element. And so we're usually behind, and we assist whichever element needs it. And then sometimes you find yourself where the elements don't need it, you need it because somehow you get into shit. Um, and we went over to support the elements because things were calming down on the end of the second day. And we get over there, and then shit just took off. And I don't know if I became a target because of my two antennas sticking out in my back. Um, but I was behind the Ma Deuce, and I mean, the truck was just littered with shells that day. I honestly don't know how many drops I ran that day, but we ran 64s dry on the first section um, until the second one came out. And then it got to the point where RPG hits the side of the truck, rounds are hitting the turret, and it was like, we we gotta do something because we're just sitting here getting the shit kicked out of us. And we're driving back, and next thing you know, I'm in the front seat of the team leader's lap. We ran over an IED with the truck, blew off the
Oh
front
shit.
end. Yeah, man. I don't even know if
No,
you
I
knew
didn't know
that.
you hit an IED while you were
So
there.
that was how this deployment started. It was like, oh boy, this is gonna be fun. But yeah, I just remember I wasn't out all that long. I just remember I was sitting in the I had a tether that was holding
Mm-hmm.
me in because if not, I probably would have been like ejectocito. Um, but yeah, I was in his lap, and it was okay. Now what's going on? And then, but that wasn't where it ended. Back in the turret, we're still now we're getting hit from another side. Um, and then all I remember is it sounded like a freaking car just tumbling over top of us. I don't know what weapon system they had, but the MQ-9 found it and sent a hellfire. And we sent a hellfire down to him. But that was a shit show. And that was how this deployment started. And half the team wasn't even there yet.
Team's not even all the way
Um,
there yet, and you've already hit an IED.
yep, and
And
that's yeah.
that's crazy, man. I wonder if they were.
It's fun
I
to
wonder
see.
if they were using the SPG. Was it SPG 3 or something like that? The recoilless rifle.
It might have been the recoilless rifle, man. Like I said, all I remember to me it sounded like a car tumbling just over top of me, and it landed behind us.
Man, that's
Um,
crazy, dude.
yeah,
That's so.
yeah.
You say you got knocked out. Most people, they're gonna say that's when you should have been medevaced out. Like if we're following medical standards, that they should have medevaced you and stuff like that. But that's
No, no.
not something you would have
Get
done.
right back in the game and finish out the deployment, man. No, like I said, I don't think I was out that long, just enough to get my bell rung. Um, but yeah, that's how it went, and
What was the debrief like when you guys got back? Were you just like, "Holy shit, dude, day one"?
yeah, it was like the air officer's like, "You really dropped already?" Yeah, we didn't drop just once; we dropped multiple times. Um, but the nice part with that is when you're the MARSOC, you have dedicated air, man. Like every time I go out, I'd have a ROS established, and I'd have rotors all the way up to probably I don't know 18,000 feet, and I'd stack them how I wanted to because it's all on you as far as how you set your aircraft, how you're going to deconflict them and whatnot. I always have my AC-1 because we usually had a dedicated AC-130, especially once they knew they were dropping for my call
Mm-hmm.
sign. Hold them at 10,000 above ground level, and you always had somebody out there, and they were out, and it was pretty much who can get in line to shoot. And usually the rotors were the first. That's why the 64s we had such a good relationship with them. They were right there at Shindan. We knew all of them face to face. They'd come out support us, and they were usually picking dudes out for us left and right. And it's well, yeah, you already have half the information you need. I'm going to employ you.
That's all.
And they are dead ass accurate with that 30 millimeter
Yeah, the
cannon.
64s are the Apaches. For those that may not know that,
Yeah,
that's awesome that you're on the same base as them because then you can go do face to face debriefs and kind of talk through stuff.
oh yeah,
That's legit.
yeah. The pilots that were flying, they'd always come over to our team brief prior to going out, and usually my team leader would go too. But at the very least, I'd go and I'd sit in on the air brief that they give to their squadron or however they designate each
What
other.
was the op tempo like? Were you guys doing raids like multiple times a week or daily or?
Yeah, at least once a week we were out. And like I said, it varied 24 hours, 72. Sometimes we'd go support a VSP. We'd actually stay at the VSP. We'd be out there for a longer amount of time.